I appreciate it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so this guy is an artist and he's also a parkour animal. Climbing and jumping and skipping and crawling and doing all that cool stuff. We can go over there. I have time.
Time to go.
Yeah, because open gym's at 4, so we got like 3 hours to go. I figure we'll do this. We'll go out there. By the way, this is Karan. We'll probably do a proper introduction when we make the other videos. But this is cool because I want to introduce the fact that this guy is in my heart. Hey, what's up guys? This is my buddy Karan. He came all the way from Atlanta because he wanted to show me some parkour moves. So today we're going to explore a few different movements, some feats of strength, I would say, because it takes quite a bit of courage to jump and land in some of these positions that he does. So we'll take a look at that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll make myself a little uncomfortable and jump from a building or something like that, but highly doubtful. So that's it, enjoy this video. So what exactly is parkour? Because I pull up some YouTube videos and I see these guys running and jumping from building to building, but I'm sure there's a lot more to it. Why don't you explain?
Well, parkour started as sort of an offshoot of an earlier discipline called the natural method. It was developed by this French explorer named Georges Herbert, if I'm pronouncing that right. You know, he traveled to I think it was Africa, and he noticed that a lot of the hunters there were very built, but they didn't work out, they didn't lift weights. It was around the 1800s at the time, and he couldn't quite figure out, like, why do you have this physique but you know you don't work out? And after living with them for some time, he realized that they gained their muscle or their tone from the way they move, the way they have to move to hunt. So he came back to France and synthesized it into something called the natural method, and then that ended up being what they used to train the French firefighters and the French military. And then a lot of, if you see any like war films or you've been to like a military base, those obstacle courses that they have for basic training, that's a derivative of the natural method.
Comes from that very same gentleman who studied this tribe in Africa, brought it to France, and now militaries all over the world use these methods for getting their soldiers stronger.
And parkour is a version that's sort of adapted to the urban environment, although a lot of us now are starting to see and notice the benefits of training anywhere and any time, not just for, you know, concrete, steel, patches of grass, just any environment that you're in, to where you can place yourself and say, I want to go there, and have the ability to do so. Right.
So whatever environment you're in becomes your gym.
My gym, my playground.
Your gym,
my urban wilderness.
Yeah, man. So when you get into this, from what I understand, there's 5 basic movements that you should master before you try to attempt any of these magnificent movements. Is that correct?
Right.
Why don't you explain what those 5 movements are?
Well, the first one, it's the parkour roll. It's kind of our bread and butter, because you need to learn how to fall before you even consider jumping or consider dropping from a sustainable height.
Yeah, no doubt.
What you want to do, if you're doing it from standing, just to practice the progression, you get down in a squat, and there's many different ways to do this. I'll just show you the way that's, you know, aligned with me. You can place your hands sort of like a diamond formation, and when you practice this yourself or at home, pick a side that you feel most comfortable rolling over. I'm left-handed, so I feel comfortable rolling over my right shoulder. And you place your hands to, in my case, the left of you, and you use this arm to guide your center of gravity, your weight, over to the top of your right shoulder like this. As you roll, you tuck your head into the same side of that pec that you're turning into. You use the bend of this arm to guide to the opposite shoulder. You keep this foot tucked, and you come up on the other side, ready to run. So when I do it quickly, this foot is upturned, so with the momentum that I have from running or dropping, it's almost gonna swing me into this position, and then I go.
This would apply to all types of sports anyway too. If you play soccer, if you play football, whatever the case may be, if you hit the ground, you want to be able to get up as fast as possible. Rolling is one of those options apparently, and it keeps your momentum.
Because if you just hit, all that force is concentrated to the point of your body that reaches the ground first. So the longer you can extend that time of contact, the less energy, the less rebound that's actually going into your bones, your muscles,
right.
your spine.
Absorb the ground better.
Right.
Excellent. So what's number 2?
Number 2, precision jump. So you would want to practice it, you know, on an even surface to begin with. Not like we were talking about earlier, the first instinct should not be like to go find a roof to jump between, because if you can do it on the ground, you can do it in the air, and it's not a race. So it's better that you hone your skills on flat ground, on a flat surface, before trying anything beyond that. So what you want to do is get in almost like a squat position. And what I like to do, especially if it's a further distance, I may not execute it here, but I lean in at about 50 degrees. So by the time I jump up and out, I'm at 45, because that's the most efficient trajectory if you want to get as far as possible.
Yeah.
So you stand on the balls of your feet, knees slightly bent, and as you jump, you kick off straight and you throw your arms up towards that angle, and midway through you bring your knees back up, and then you extend your feet to catch, well, in some cases a wall, but in this instance to land on that particular point on the balls of your feet, and you almost drop into a third world squat. And this controls your balance. You know, if you jump too short, this last pump can actually carry you where you want it to be. Like if you're a little bit behind or you didn't push off hard enough, this extra pump as you come in gives you that extra little leeway or room to control really how you land. So.
Yeah, that's a lot different than a broad jump. Like, you know, when I train the athletes, we do broad jumps, but it's a matter of a lot of times reaching out with your heels and then rocking forward. This here looks like you, like a cat, like you're trying to reach with your toes.
Yeah, well, if you think about it this way, a lot of jumps that we do are in that sense. Do you think you could do it barefoot on your heels?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Flat foot.
If you're training to compensate or being compensated by something that you're wearing, then it's almost like you're doing that conditionally. You're doing that because something is in place to help your performance, instead of the talent or that particular skill being innate to your own body. So I'll do the same thing, same form. All right, so this is move number 3, the third one that you need to know. And what I'm gonna do here is a Kong. Now this particular obstacle is a little bit lower, but it gives us a little bit more room to play around with. The comfort level, especially as I'm introducing it to Elliot. And it would be just as anything else that you would want to appreciate about parkour. And the movement is in a bipedal fashion. Run up to the obstacle and jump out, throwing the far leg back and as high as possible to bring your hips up. And within the jump itself, you can bring your hips up just by the momentum or the angle that you take off at. And you want to reach out with your arms, landing with your palms, and pulling your way through, up and over. So completed, it looks like this. This is a bit of a variation to it. This is a dive Kong, where if you need to clear an object that's before the particular structure that you're going to push off of, you would run from a little further back and actually project your arms up and outward, and land and come down into the obstacle using the same palm roll technique to clear the area. Wow. Move number 4 is the climb up. You meet a wall about this height. You want to use your momentum to project yourself upwards so that you can catch the lip. And the way you do that is you stride into the wall and you place the balls of your feet, in this occasion just below the height of your hip. You jump into it and you push down so that you go upward and you catch the edge of the wall. But sometimes with your palms this way. Some people like to use their fingers, or some get a thumb over there. Either way that you find comfortable is fine. Personally, I like to grip it almost like a handlebar or the side of a brick. So you use the balls of your feet and you hang in an aligned position so that you can get most of the strength from your triceps. Then you pull upward and throw your chest over the top of the wall, like this. And you use your arm to do a push-up, and then bring one leg over at a time. So I'll do it real fast for you guys real quick. Okay, move number 5. I wanted to squeeze this one in really quickly because it's one of those moves that if you're starting parkour for the first time, is one of the easiest to transition to. Some people don't have the coordination or the reaction time to do a Kong right off the bat, but the safety vault is really an extension of the movement that you're already making with the assist of a hand to make it over an obstacle. So in the same fashion of a Kong, you'll be using your arm, well, one arm at this particular point, to push yourself through the obstacle, but literally stepping up and kicking out with the center foot, placing it down, and continuing on your path. And there you have it.
Hey man, thank you so much for coming out here and sharing this with our viewers. Look, hey, there's many different types of fitness. This is bodyweight fitness in an explosive fashion. There's all types of functional stuff going on. You gotta be a badass to be able to train this way, and I appreciate Karan. Hopefully that was a helpful video to you guys.